Okay, I just wanted to do a couple quick examples for you about odds and probability. So we started this lesson yesterday, and what we're going to do now is just look at a couple of the examples before you finish the problems related to this. So one of the big things here, and we did this example yesterday, is calculating the odds in favor of flipping heads from a regular coin. So now, from the front of the sheet, you recall that the the odds in favor of an event is the probability that the event happens divided by the probability that the event does not happen. It's often written as a ratio, as you can see here. And another way of thinking about it is it's the odds in favor of the event happening is the number of times the positive event happens versus the number of times the event doesn't happen. So basically these two relate to each other very, very closely, and it's still written as a ratio. So we always want to write it in a reduced ratio. That's very important to understand. So flipping the sheet over, calculate the odds in favor of flipping heads on a regular coin. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the odds in favor of heads equals, well, it's the probability of getting heads. So basically it's the 1/2 divided by the probability of it not happening is 1/2. And what you'll notice here is that when we reduce this 1/2 to 1/2, the common denominator is 2. So this can be written simply as 1 to 1, like so. And we often say that that has sometimes you'll hear it called a 50-50 chance. So 50-50 chance means there's a probability of 0.5 of that event happening. So 50-50 isn't reduced. If you divide both by 50, you get 1 to 1. So this is usually a 50-50 chance, or the odds are 1 to 1, which means you have a probability of 1/2 of that happening. Let's try a different one. Calculate the odds of randomly selecting a red gumball from a bag that contains 4 red, 8 blue, and 6 green. Also calculate the odds against this happening. So the odds in favor, like that shortcut, of a red gumball equals, well, the probability that you would select a red gumball. There are 4 red gumballs in total, and the total number of gumballs in there is 8 plus 4 plus 6, so that is going to be 10, 12, 18. And the probability of not getting the red gumball is the complement of that, so it's going to be 14 over 18. So that's found either just by counting up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 14 ways of, that's the blue and the green. So there's 4 missing from the total of 18. Or you could have said 1 subtract 4 over 18, which also gives you 14 over 18. Now what you'll notice is this is the probability that the event happens divided by the probability of it not happening. And what you'll notice is that the denominator divide out, and what you're left with is 4 to 14 odds in favor. Which reduces to, if you divide them by 2, 2 to 7 odds in favor. So the odds against a red gumball can be done 2 ways. If you already know the odds in favor of it happening, you could simply just write the odds against it happening. That's it. What you'll notice here is that it's unlikely, 2 to 7 is unlikely that you're going to select a red gumball because there's more of the other types, but the odds against it is favorable because you have 7 to 2. Another way you could have done this is you could have written it as the probability of not getting a red gumball divided by the probability of getting the red gumball. Again, the common denominator is 18 at the bottom, you can see here. So that translates to 14 to 4, which reduces to 7 to 2. Same answer. So you can see there's 2 different ways of representing that. And again, this is also the reason why on the front of the sheet here, the odds in favor were written as the number of times that that event happens and the number of times that that event doesn't. So that's the complement. So this basically gets rid of that denominator part. So you can see that there were 4 to 14, 1 to 1. As long as the base is the same, you can make that stipulation 14 to 4. Okay? So the next part is the odds that it will snow tomorrow is 6 to 14. So 6 to 14 odds in favor of snow. So calculate the probability of snow. Well, to find the probability of snow, it says if we write this as a fraction, 6 to 14, we can write it as 6 to 14. Okay? That's the same thing as saying, if we were writing this as odds, that would be 6 over 20 to 14 over 20. Right? And so on the front it said, oh, use h to k. You know, the probability is h over h plus k. So since there's 6 options, 6 to 14, it says 6 successes to 14 failures. The total number of in our sample space is 6 plus 14, which is 20. So the probability of snow is simply going to be 6 over 6 plus 14, which is 6 over 20. Now, if you were using that formula, you would have recognized that 6 to 14, this is the h over k, or the way we write it is h to k odds. So the probability that an event happens is h over h plus k. And that's what we did to solve to get 6 over 20. Again, you could write this as divided by 2, so you can have 4 over 10, which is 2 over 5. So that's the reduced. And you could, if you wanted to, get it as a decimal. So you could do 2 divided by 5 to get the decimal. So you could say the probability of snow is 2 divided by 5. And simply putting that in the calculator. So if we do 2 divided by 5, you're going to find it's 0.40 or 40% chance. So you know that 6 to 14 is not likely to snow because that number is smaller than this one by a significant amount. But you'll see that that represents 40%. So just like any of the other cases, if I said, oh, the odds in favor of a red gumball are 2 to 7. What is the probability of getting a red gumball? Well, 2 successes, 7 failures in this sense if you're thinking about it like that. So there's 2 times out of 9 total, 2/9 is the probability of getting a red gumball. So that's a little aside. That wasn't part of the question. That's just an aside to that problem. Okay, with those examples, you should be able to go through the activity, through the question sheet and complete the questions. Don't just show your a couple numbers here and there. Make sure you show your work and show your thinking. It's important for this unit that you do that. Once you've completed this activity, you can move on to the independent events section and go through the lesson and tutorial for that and the questions, and we'll take that up tomorrow.